Hello, doctor. Can I ask you something real? When did death stop hurting you? I ask because I remember my first time. The first time a patient died in my care. I cried for hours. I curled up in bed that night and replayed every second on loop. What could I have done differently? Was it my fault? Could I have saved them? Fast forward 2 years. I pronounced time of death at 4:16 p.m. Wrote the note. Called the family. Moved on to the next patient. Just like that. That day, a nurse looked at me and said, "You didn't even flinch." And I didn't know how to explain it. How do you explain the slow, quiet numbness that creeps in? Not all at once, but over dozens of deaths, hundreds of heartbreaks. You see, when death becomes routine, so does emotional distance. You learn to compartmentalize. You have to. Because if you grieved every loss deeply, you wouldn't survive this job. But here's the thing, doctor. No one warned us that numbing pain also numbs joy. I realized that the day a little boy coded in the ER. We tried everything. The team was moving fast. His mother was screaming. And me. I stood there calm, focused, efficient, detached. I did everything by the book. But I felt nothing. Later that night, I found myself in the supply room. Alone. The tears didn't come from that boy's death alone. They came from all the others I hadn't allowed myself to mourn. Grief doesn't disappear, doctor. It waits. It stacks up behind closed doors until the weight finally breaks the lock. Since then, I've made a quiet pact with myself. Now, when a patient dies, I pause. Even for just 30 seconds. I light a candle. I say their name. I let myself feel. Not because it changes the outcome, but because it honors the fact that I'm still human. And I want to tell you this. Feeling doesn't make you fragile. It doesn't mean you're not strong enough. It means you still care. And that matters. So if you're at that point where the silence after death feels heavier than the loss itself, take a breath. Grieve in your own way. And don't forget, you're allowed to feel. And if you've ever stood in that supply room, unsure if you were still allowed to break down, share your story with us. Email it to clinicconfessions@gmail.com. We'll hold space for it. Clinic Confessions, real stories from behind the stethoscope.